unpatriotic conduct, some people should be prosecuted. Now, the Daily Heritage is reporting this morning. Akufo-Addo's boy is hot as angry Chief Opraso residents call for DC's head. There's one about Ayene's cross-examination request being declined on the front page too. Pocket money for prosecution saga. AG allays fears of prosecutors. So please, he says, no way you not use your pocket money again. Those are the stories on the front page of the Daily Heritage.
The New Crusading Guide newspaper, Galamsey fraud, how President Akufo-Addo's initiative is being stabbed at the back. That's the only story on the front page of the New Crusading Guide.
Did you mean
newspaper.
in the back? Stabbed in the back?
Yes, stabbed at the back.
Stabbed at the back. That's what it says.
That's what it says.
Okay.
I mean,
now, the Daily Statesman is reporting this morning. Religion has created confusion in Ghana. This is according to Most Reverend Kwesi Sapon, and clearly the emeritus Archbishop of Kumasi there. And UK is poised to invest more in Ghana. And the statement has this story too. NDC plots to smear EC boss Ofosu Ampofo Haruna Iddrisu Ogbami hatch plan against Jean Mensa.
That story is also on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer newspaper. We will take her to the cleanest. NDC's wicked plot against EC chair exposed. Charges party to insult Peace Council chairman and paint President Akufo-Addo as a violent person. Also on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer, Petroleum Services provided science safety pact with MPA. 4 bullets were fired at me. Sam George tells short commission.
And he swerved them all.
Yeah, he swerved them by running zigzag.
There's a cartoon in the Daily Guide that actually depicts that in a very nice way, but the Daily Guide has other stories. Adua Mankwa detained in Zimbabwe, and Comrade is in some kind of trouble there. 100,000 housing units coming soon. There's one also about Yao Donko, the former BNI boss, denying NCA gang. And that's all the stories on the front page of the Daily Guide.
The Chronicle newspaper, 510 gas stations high risk, announces Galamsey fraud ruffles feathers as big shot star president in the back. US rakes in $251.4 billion from 76.9 million visitors.
The Today is telling me that Adekoka School St. George Court declares EDDT, and that is East Dade Kotupon Development Trust, credible. Ken Des Anas, and this case is Ken Japan over Galamsey expose. And that's on the front page of the Today newspaper. The
Ghanaian Times newspaper, implementation of Ghana Partnership Schools Project, pre-tertiary education unions protest. Ghana security is in safe hands. Kudjopo Nkrumah, information minister, former Unibank director discharged. Charges against him dropped. And president inaugurates Ghana's first foreign policy think tank.
Now the Finder is on the front page saying this morning, jail all EC commissioners over failure to provide a Europa constitutional instrument. There's another one about the MP talking about safety agreements with the oil marketing and LPG marketing companies too. There's also one issue know about. First Ghanaian drone company receives commercial certificate to operate. First Ghanaian drone company to operate. And there's also what is being said by the coalition on the RTI. They say the benefits far outweighs the cost of implementation. That is according to the Finder and all its reports.
And you just mentioned drones. The back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper has this: Lands Commission takes delivery of 2 mapping drones. 2 mapping drones. And one other story, Cabinet approves $20 million loan facility for Upper East Regional Hospital.
All right, Malik, let me begin with you because this expose that Anas Army or Anas has is about to release.
Yes, so you know that Anas did some investigation into Galamsey. I remember clearly Malik Kwekubaku saying on Newsfile that it was exclusive. This is about 2 years ago. It's exclusive. I think that has been updated, and the release date is today, 27th. Today's 27. That's when they are releasing a 20-minute documentary on the Galamsey, which Anas himself says it titles it as Shocking Realities of Illegal Mining. The Chronicle reports that some persons within government have been left with running stomachs on the back of this story. Anas says the team found some of the men who stabbed the President Akufo-Addo in the back as a result of the things that they have done. You have in the trailer that they've put on social media, you see people receiving money in cars, in the open, in their offices, including security officers. And that reminds me, you remember when we were doing Aisha Wang, Erastus reported to us in the Ashanti region that sometimes when the the task force that was tasked to deal with Galamsey is on its way, you would find that police officers who are on the road will actually hint these people who are deep in the forest that the people are coming. Sometimes you know they are there. By the time you get there, they've all disappeared. And that is because police officers sitting at barriers and other junctions on the road will call them and inform them about the task force coming, and then they disappear.
You recall the National Security Report that fingered not only members of parliament, also chiefs and district chief executives, so many relevant people who should be protecting the lands, rather being what they call it, related, or the people sponsoring, or the people in charge of some of these mining concessions across the country, actively engaging in illegal mining. I remember when BT Baba's name was mentioned, so that mine has been abandoned a long time ago. And that he's no longer been active in his own constituency, so how can he be said to be?
And he said he's not an illegal miner, and that he had been licensed to engage in mining.
So when Anas finally releases this 20-minute documentary, we will get all the details, and of course, you want to stay with us here on your Superstation for all the exclusives on this matter. But someone is asking that all EC commissioners are jailed, extreme or not?
Yes, tomorrow the High Court will hear a motion that has cited all commissioners of the Electoral Commission of Ghana for contempt of court for failing to provide a constitutional instrument for the Representation of People Amendment Act, as set out by a court in 2017. You do remember that we started dealing with this matter, of course, it was passed around in 2015 or 2005 or 2006, and there was huge talk about it. Now, in response to the charges, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jane Mensah, defends her conduct in her affidavit, saying that she has acted willfully with the view to bring the administration of justice into disrepute or disregard. That's what the motion is being. And motion which was filed on notice by the lawyer for the people involved in this case, Samson Ladi. In fact, the lawyer for the applicants demanded the committal into prison of the defendants for contempt, and they are named. That's Jane Mensah, Samuel Tete, Deputy EC Boss, Dr. Eric Asare Bosman. Other members of the commission, Ajua Asuma Brefi, Ebenezer Agrifin, Hajia Sadautu, and also Rebecca Kabuki Ajua. So all the members of the Electoral Commission, the 7, the Samson is saying that, you know,
they should all be jailed.
Yeah, they should all be put in jail for contempt in this case. But you know, this is just some very interesting mode. We all know that the court actually issued an order. It was simple, that you should table a CI to operationalize the law. In fact, as we speak, they don't even have a draft CI, which they could have engaged the public on. What was the case was that the ECDM pursued some consultation agreement, and then came out to the story I saw on the internet saying that the people have rejected the the ROPA implementation. But if a court says do something, why do they go and engage another group of people? And you do recall, the previous EC administration kept on telling us that, they've been doing consultation. They've consulted political parties, they are consulting the public, until they were removed and a new one was put in place. So it looks like there's some real difficulty the EC is not telling us that's preventing them from doing this or complying with the court directive.
And Raymond, remember that this was a law that we passed. The day this law was passed in Parliament, people wore white shirts to celebrate the passage of this law, the ROPAL into a law.
Yes,
you know, it used to be ROPAB.
Yes,
the
it was a
Representation of the People's Amendments Bill. When it was being passed into law, people wore white shirts to celebrate the passage because the minority at the time walked out of Parliament when the bill was being processed, when it was being passed.
So maybe the Electoral Commission can answer for us. How will this consultation that's being carried out impact on the final act that is being implemented? Because these persons who are being consulted are in Ghana, residents in Ghana.
Yes.
The persons who stand to benefit the most from the implementation of this are not residents in Ghana. So if you do a consultation within Ghana, how are those views going to impact on your decision? And if those views will impact on your decision, should you not be consulting with Ghanaians outside of Ghana?
It may be because...
Interestingly, if I may finish, the people who are dragging them to court are not residents in Ghana. They are the people who stand to benefit from the implementation.
Because they're just asserting their constitutional right to exercise their franchise. And I think the consultation is also happening locally because there is opposition locally to the implementation of the law.
I read the story about the local opposition. So there's a question of prioritization of resources. So one raised the question that there are villages without boreholes. Why should we be spending money on ROPA? There was also a question about, if my memory serves me well, disenfranchising persons, because they say if there are Ghanaians living in about 200 countries and you start rolling it out in only 3 countries, are you not disenfranchising the other Ghanaians in 197 countries? The question here is, are you consulting the people in 197 countries and they are telling you that they are disenfranchised?
But Daniel, the court ordered you to do something simple. Put out a CI. Why are you wasting resources doing consultation?
So this is rather the resources that are being
Yes,
wasted.
and asking for extension when the court has given you specific directives.
Okay, so the court will decide tomorrow. But 510 gas stations, Malik, are high
Yes.
risk.
So Daniel, of the 619 liquefied petroleum gas stations operating in Ghana, 510 of them, according to the National Petroleum Authority, the regulator, are high risk.
I have a bad feeling that includes the one in my area.
510.
Very bad feeling.
That's about 77% of them. Only 115 of them are medium risk. That's 17%. Only 4, that's 5%, are categorized as low risk.
The spirit tells me that's the one in my area. The 4.
One of the four is around the area. So only 4 are low risk, and that constitutes just 5% of the stations operating in Ghana. And the MPA conducted this risk assessment of all the stations across the country, and the things they looked out for were siting, engineering, equipment condition, safety management systems, staff and facility management, materials, and fabrications of these LPG gases. These were the categories of things that they considered in reaching the decision about who is high risk, who is low risk, and which station is medium risk. And a whopping 77% of the stations were high risk.
Realistically speaking, Raymond, if 8 out of 10 of the stations where you get your gas to fill are high risk and they have to be closed down, there's a question of the convenience to the user, there's a question of employment, there's a question of the larger economy. So maybe we need to decide, are we going to mitigate the risk of some of these high risk stations, or we are going to close it down? It's probably why at this point my question would be, so what is the MPA doing?
Well, the MPA said he was going to introduce a new system, which will be the cylinder redistribution system. That's what it wants to do as a measure to deal with these
that was
small
part of
stations
the plans
that
released after the atomic gas explosion.
Absolutely. Right? And of course, that I haven't heard much about it again, but the MPA at the time was very.
It's because it has been heavily.
About,
it's one of the reasons you haven't heard much about it. It's been heavily resisted.
Yes. The gas stations are upset about
it. The LPG Marketers Association. They have raised key questions about it, and maybe it's time that we bring this conversation back to the fore, because in the end, it's your convenience versus your safety. Yes, if a high risk station is closed down, it's inconvenience for you, but then there's also the safety question.
Again, rather than using the very tough hand, how about give them 6 months or 2 months or even a short period? Ask them to upgrade within the period. So if they fail to do so, and you can crack the whip on them, that's if you're not using this as a coy to bring about the opposed cylinder recirculation program.
I mean, Chief Executive of MPA insists that, I'm talking about Hassan Tampoli, he insists that the MPA will not budge. They will continue to insist that people operate within the boundaries of the law and in a manner which guarantees the safety of citizens and consumers.
You should publish the names of the 510 so that I know if really the spirit is right when I feel like the
so
one
that
in my
it will
area.
generate a certain competition amongst the companies to try and lift themselves out of where they are. If you are high risk, try and move to low risk, and then medium risk and low risk.
So I know how to ask questions when I'm driving home this evening. Raymond, let's stay in the energy sector.
Yes.
ECG new owner begins operations tomorrow.
That's March 1st.
March 1st, that's Friday.
Yes, but today we understand that they've already gotten the operating license, what they will use to do the job that they're supposed to be doing. Now, we know that on the 5th of August 2014, the government of Ghana executed the second MCC, that's the Millennium Challenge Compact, with the U.S. government with the objective, among other things, to increasing private sector investment and the productivity and profitability of micro, small, and medium-scale businesses in the country. Among the 6 projects which was within the second compact is the ECG Financial and Operational Turnaround Project, which seeks to introduce a private sector participant in the management and operations of ECG. Now, we know the government of Ghana, under the auspices of the MDA, the Millennium Development Authority, then embarked on the competitive procurement process, which resulted in the selection of this group that we know them today now. And they are supposed to, manage, operate, and invest in ECG over the period of 20 years. Now, the Miracle-led consortium, and that's what people were not really aware of. The term was only Miracle. The Miracle-led consortium was declared the winner 20th April 2018. And they are partnering the Al Energy, an Angolan company, and 3 Ghanaian companies. Of course, the names are here, to form power distribution services with the 51% Ghanaian owned as required by the government of Ghana.
Okay.
In fact, this concessionaire, that's the PDS, is expected to strengthen the governance, management, and operations of ECG and improve the delivery of power. Already, we are told that, they have engaged groupings to work in this area, and they will continue to, the ECG itself will continue to operate as bulk energy trader and asset owner. So they've been divided into 2. Some of the workers are going to the new company, a chunk of them. A small grouping of managers and other groupings will also stay with the UCG, virtually looking at and oversee the activities of the PDS in this case. We hope this doesn't become aquavitance.
We hope so.
That this doesn't mean that I have to pay more for electricity.
Well,
yes, because efficiency should rather make me pay less.
That's up to the PURC, isn't it? Because it's the PURC that in the end fixes the tariffs.
I agree perfectly, but the people who are coming in are not taking on any debt at all, as we are being told. They are actually coming to do
the question
investment.
you should ask, Raymond, is if it were the ECG, will the bills be higher
Yes,
in the next review? In the next tariff review,
We know
because
that
it is up to the ECG to put, and every tariff review that I've seen, the ECG has presented a tariff increase, has proposed a tariff increase, and the PURC eventually decides.
But you know that if you are dealing with locals, government can tell the ECG management that, my friend, I will not entertain anything through PURC.
Which would be illegal.
No, take your time.
For government to even influence PURC.
Oh, but government will not be in the position to tell an external company, which has agreed I'm not going to give you the debt, that particular expression.
No, you see, Raymond, let's be clear. It will be illegal for government to tell PURC to fix a certain tariff. It will be illegal for a new company to set a certain tariff without
then
PURC's
a lot of illegalities
approval.
have been happening.
No, I was about telling him that the real politics on the ground makes the illegality.
Of course. You know what? Let's move from this subject.
Let's deal with NABCO
fraud.
Yeah, so NABCO has detected fraud. Of the 10,000 people that were, is it 10,000? 100,000 people that were told NABCO was going to recruit, 3,807 of the beneficiaries have been known to enroll concurrently in other government-initiated and government-sponsored programs. Of the 3,807, 1,702 of them are already gainfully employed. 1,368 are already on the Forestry Commission's payroll. 408 of them have extended national service. 322 are already on the Youth Employment Agency models, and 7 nurses are in school. This is a breakdown of all the numbers.
So the 1,702 who are already gainfully employed, they are taking double salaries.
Yes, they are taking. So the reason this company, and this is according to the chief executive of NABCO, Dr. Anyas Ibrahim, the reason these guys engage in this concurrent enrollment is in order for them to take multiple salaries. But of course, NABCO is they don't just pay. Usually, you have to go through approval process before payment is done.
Malik. So Dr. Ibrahim Anyas is alleging that these people have willfully enrolled on 2 programs
in an attempt
to take
double salaries.
These people have been caught.
Because even if, but your MPs are alleged to be engaged in the receipt of double salaries.
No, you take your time. Let's
they are
proceed
taking
slowly.
cue from their legislators.
Malik, let's proceed slowly. You are my legal brain here. Defrauding by false pretense.
But it has to be proven.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. He's alleging.
Yes.
He's alleging that these people willfully enrolled on another program.
So you have to establish the willfulness. I mean, I'm sure they haven't done that. Maybe if they establish the willfulness, you would have thought that in better functioning systems, they will be arrested and prosecuted.
So the question now would be that Dr. Ibrahim Anyas believes that these people have done something willfully.
Yes,
Has the process for establishing that as fact begun?
I think what they do is just take them off. That's what they do. Take them off. He says by January this year.
Incentive for other people.
Oh,
Will they take the money back from them?
That's
Please,
why.
have they taken
That's
the
why.
money from the
That's why
MPs and the
Professor.
other people that they said
That's
are
why
taking
Professor
over
Stephen Kokwasari says we have suggestions in our law books, not laws.
Okay, no. To be fair to Malik, he's not Dr. Ibrahim Anyas.
Yeah.
Yes, so these are questions for Dr. Ibrahim Anyas.
Yes. So he says that by January, the Daily Graphic reports that by January this year, January 10th, they had the evidence that they have indicates about 9,235 people had been cleared to receive their 700 Ghana cedis. 8,766 are still under investigations, and Dr. Anyas says that usually NABCO that doesn't just pay. They have to clear the people and be certain that these people are genuine people. They are not engaged in multiple enrollments and they are not gainfully employed elsewhere before clearance can be given and then payment will be given. In fact, many of the other people have multiple names in different models. They have a number of people, you have multiple names using the same e-switch number. So there are too many problems that they are dealing with NABCO.
We are looking there to see if those problems will be sorted out. We are going online now. The online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goyle Good Energy. Now, it's a new year, and it's still good energy with Goyle, your reliable energy partner. Enhancing your engine performance and prolonging the life expectancy of your vehicle should be a top priority. So continue to get the best quality and value for money from Goyle Super XP and Diesel XP and trusted range of lubricants from our 360 service stations across the country. To all our valued customers, we say thank you. We value our partnership with you, and because of you, we are still number one and still CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year. Let's continue the partnership to build our economy. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle proudly Ghanaian, Goyle Yenara Yedia. Now, remember how stress-free it was when you first signed on to that life policy? Now tell me, won't you be so happy if the claim payment process was fast and stress-free as well? I'm sure you would. At Enterprise Life, we believe that tomorrow is not promised, but a claim paid in time saves life. Claims paid in time will ensure your child's education is not put on hold. A funeral expense paid in time will reduce the burden on your family. A life cover paid in time will guarantee your family continues to live the advantaged life even in your absence. Trust Enterprise Life with your life insurance needs and be rest assured of an advantaged position when it's pay time. Call Enterprise Life on 0302 708 4444. Email customers.life@enterprisegroup.com.gh. Like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, or visit any of our offices nationwide. Enterprise, your advantage. MyJoyOnline.com. INEC criticizes ruling on NDC politicians' cross-examinations request. The Justice Emil Short Commission has declined Dr. Ayine's request to cross-examine some of the witnesses who were called in earlier. Research on 750 million Ghana cedi RTI implementation cost is flawed. The Center for Democratic Development CCD Ghana will be on the show today during Corruption Watch as we discuss this this claim that is going to cost 750 million Ghana cedis to implement RTI. Trainee teachers saddened by five-month delayed allowance. IMF backs tax exemptions reforms. Other online stories at adumonline.com. Victor Smith commends Akufo-Addo. The BBC has the latest on the Nigeria elections. Muhammadu Buhari re-elected as president. Congratulations, Mr. Buhari. And thousands of US child migrants sexually abused. Before we go, take a listen to this.
Even though the party was aware that MPP will always resort to violence when we go to my election, the scale and the combination of state security forces against a party has never happened in the history of Ghana.
So that was the voice alleged to be, now we have tapes alleged to be the leak from a meeting of top NDC officials in which a voice one can reasonably say sounds like the party chairman, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, as you heard there, discloses that they had intel about the NPP visiting violence and rigging the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election on 31st January. More on that when we come back.